Ladies and gentlemen, happy Sabbath and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Skyman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. When Uhuru Kenyatta told the nation that our country was losing 2 billion daily, many people did not take him seriously. Indeed, for sure, ni juzi tu ambapo the government of William Samoei Ruto told Kenyans again that it is ready to investigate those allegations because according to them, they were just allegations. But we are learning that that is actually could just be a tip of the iceberg. What Uhuru Kenyatta said was just a tip of the iceberg. If you have been listening to the controller of budgets, one Margret Nyakang'o, a very nice lady, the controller of budget, when he appeared before the national dialogue, she exposed the government of William Samoei Ruto. She told us that the government was getting it wrong, and I give a critical analysis about it when I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that the overtaxing of Kenyans was resulting to a few income. The government was getting less revenue even after increasing the taxes because people were going for alternatives. If it is the cars, for example, they were now leaving their cars at home. But the same controller of budget has now revealed something that is shocking. If you read today's Daily Nation, Saturday Nation, the headline is the salary history. 2 billion salary history. And that one caught my attention, ladies and gentlemen. Because according to the controller of budget, a lady who is very respectable, a lady who is very professional, she is telling us that the heart of this madness, the heart of this theft is in treasury. That is why you have Jogona Dongo as the CS. What they normally do, they triple the salaries of state officers. They triple. That is, they multiply by 3. They inflate the salaries. And for example, you find these people like the president, the deputy president, the controller of budgets, the auditor general, many of these state officers, including the independent office commissioners. What do they do? Once they inflate the salaries, it is taken to the National Assembly as a budget item. It is budgeted. But now, what these people get in the final analysis, and she gave example of herself. For instance, for her, I think she get something like 795,000 per month. But you find when the salary was being taken to Parliament in the budget, what was budgeted was 1.4 million. Can you imagine? 1.4 million. And the same is repeated to every state officer. But the funny thing is that they now take the supplementary budget. Now, when they take the second supplementary budget to Parliament, that is where the money disappears. So they now take something that is very different. So the salaries of the state officers now are now taken as the real salaries. So the money disappears, or it already disappeared. And now because the control of budget has authorized the spending of the money, because according to her, after the supplementary budget, there's nothing she can be able to do. Kazi yake is just to approve what to be spent by the national government and by the county governments. So that is where the money now disappears. Pesa zinapotea kabisa. But the funny thing is that these state officers hawapati hizi pesa. Hizi pesa wanapata mishahara yao. Like now for her, she gets her actual salary. But what is budgeted for is 1.4. And I'm saying it is repeated everywhere. It is repeated. So that is how we are getting 2 billion. And if you calculate 2 billion, and if you look at our budgets, something similar occurs. Something, I don't know, was just a coincidence. That our deficit, budget deficit, is usually allowed 700 billion. That is what we borrow. Was to have a balanced budget, for the government to be able to have a balanced budget and maybe spend what has been planned for. But when you calculate the 2 billion, Because you see, William Ruto was told that the country is losing 2 billion daily. If that is the case, because this is just a case in point, a month 2 billion is lost in terms of salaries. But Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta alikuwa anatuambia kwamba every day, if you go to almost every sector, you realize that we are losing 2 billion. So if you look at Tanzania, we have 366 days. 366 days, if you multiply by 2, that is 732. So we are not supposed to borrow. So hizi pesa tunaenda kukopa ni za nini? So tunakopa, alafu tunalipa, yet this money, the country does not need this money. And I don't know where the debate by Okia Omtata ilipotea wapi. Because Okia Omtata was telling Kenyans, for sure, Kenya does not need to borrow even a coin unless there is a crisis. The same case, Wajigi James was also telling us that the country does not need to borrow. Indeed, you have been paying loans that don't exist, loans that have been pocketed by people in their pockets. But the funny thing is that when Treasury was asked, when Jumana Dungo was asked by the investigators, he referred to the investigators. Those people were asking the questions. They were referred to Margret Nyakang'o because yeye akasema hakuna kitu anaona. Something else, according to the Daily Nation, when I was reading that paper, I realized that the powers that be were armed with Margret. Huyu ako hatarini. Jamani. I think the only thing that is there is only that she has an office whereby she cannot be just sacked like that. She has the tenure of office is secured. Security of tenure is there. It's not like normally civil servant would be sacked the following day or the following morning. Kwa hivyo hawa watu wamekasirika sana. But you can actually trust the source, because the source is somebody who is sitting and working in the government. So what these people are telling us is that we need to be very, very careful. We elected thieves in office. We have been budgeting for thieves. And I think this is something that has been happening for so many years. I don't think this is the first time. What is happening is that it is all actually being reviewed at this time. So Kenyans, why should we continue paying salaries that do not exist? Why should Kenyans continue to be overtaxed just to feed some people, just some few people? Kwa sababu hizi pesa nikikuuliza unafikiri zinaenda wapi? This 2 billion per month zinaishia kwa mifuko ya watu. Those guys in the treasury, this treasury mandarins, and these are just agents, if you ask me. They are agents of other strong, powerful forces. Because we cannot budget for corruption. Because a new term has even emerged, budgeted corruption. We cannot continue budgeting for corruption, ladies and gentlemen. Kwa sababu ukitazama vizuri sana, hii nchi itazama. And when William Samoei Ruto was talking about taxes yesterday, yes, it is good we pay taxes. I have no problem with paying taxes because it's our country. But now, let us be honest. Let the government officers be honest. Let the auditor now, the Auditor General, let the Auditor General reveal to the whole world how much money the country is losing. Because I think Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was not mad. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was getting intelligence briefing every morning. And he was being told everything. Pesa zinapotea hivi na hivi. And I can tell you, this is the kind of money that is used to rig elections. And if the trend continues, we shall never have free, fair and verifiable elections in this country. Hizi ndizo pesa ambazo zimemfanya Raila Amolo Odinga kila wakati anaibwa ushindi wake akishida. It make nonsense for elections in this country. Kwa sababu the reason why they are stealing this money is to buy that office, all those offices. This is to buy power. That is why in this country there is vicious struggle for power. our country today, one would mistake the country and think that we're doing elections in December. Because the government is on a campaign mode for the president. All the way. Even to some MCAs. Kila wakati ni siasa. No development is taking place. So what they want, they are now campaigning for 2027 because they are fearing losing power. It is not easy. It's not easy to snatch a bone from a dog. It is not easy, ladies and gentlemen, to deny the hyena its carcass, especially when it's feasting on the carcass. That is where we are. We're in a very precarious situation. Tuko mahali pabaya sana. And unless and until watu wengi kama Margret Nyakang'o comes out and point out the mistake, we are going to lose this country. And I think what the powers that be should realize is that they are not doing anything. They are not helping this country. Kwa sababu wanatulibikizia madeni, wanalibikizia watoto wetu ambao haingine hata wajazaliwa, and we end up paying a lot of money that has not been used by the common mwananchi. I don't know which adjectives would be appropriate to use here, because kleptocracy is not enough to describe this government. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, let us interact in this debate through the comment section. Let us call out these people for the way they are rooting this country. Let us like this video so that it can go to the whole world, so that the whole world can know the kind of leadership that we have in this country. And it is a blessing when it comes to the controller of budget herself. Have a blessed Saturday.